Sleuth. Edition.
What is up, everybody? Looks like there's already a full chat. Welcome to another Sleuth Intuition Live, where we pretty much talk about the Delphi case. Um, we wish we could talk about some other things, and I'll be the first one to tell you, this obsession it's strange. When you take a step away from yourself and you kind of see what you're doing and how obsessed you are and how you get involved in the politics and you get into this weird community. I'm going to be the first one to talk about how unhealthy that behavior is. But with that being said, it doesn't change the fact that that obsession is still there. So I don't want you guys to feel bad about it or feel like you're alone or if you don't understand what it's all about. Um, I have a feeling it's a mixture of things. Family members, past trauma, maybe you yourself or a family member were a victim or have been victimized. So it's tough, but it is, and it's strange. And that's really the only guilt that I have about any of this, is because I kind of put myself in the shoes of the families and how they might be watching it and seeing it. Um, so that's tough, but even with that and trying to do your best on not being, a piece of shit, really, that doesn't stop the obsession. So how do you move forward? And because it's not like I specifically want justice for those two girls, because I do, but I don't know them. I don't have a relationship to them. My concern is for justice overall and the fact that there's a killer out there that could strike again. I'm a big believer in preventative measures. If we can learn to prevent these things, that's what I want to try to help with. Try to do my best to respect the families and the victims, but really, I want to try to figure out a way to help people prevent it from happening. Um, what kind of people are doing this? How do you take? Uh, I'm also a huge believer in personal responsibility. Everybody's blaming this. Oh, I grew up, traumatized, and this, I was beat as a child or molested, and there's no disrespect for those. What I'm saying is, you guys are strong, and I don't want these people who are out here perpetrating these crimes against women, children, and committing murders to use that as an excuse because you are proof that that's not going to affect you in that kind of way. As tragic as it is, and of course, you have our sympathy. It's not going to lead you to do these types of crimes. So I wanted to make that point before we really did anything. So let's take a look at the chat. Oh, we got little Pookie. What's up, player? Diane, Mandy. What's up, Joe? I got your email. Give me some time to respond. I've been a little bit busy this morning. We got Eminem in the house. Ooh, you guys still getting that winter weather. Hopefully ground, hopefully earth somewhere. Yeah, I mean, think about it. When you read the transcript, the interview, the people who are interviewing Keegan, and I know it's pronounced Kagan, uh, Keegan basically, while he's handing him all this bullshit, law enforcement's like, hey man, like we started looking into these other names. What was it, the Emily Ann and the Hannah this or whatever. He They said it led them down this huge rabbit hole, right into one of the biggest child solicitation and rings Indiana has ever seen. So I mean, this got extremely scary for me. I mean, this world is small. So Ricky, what's up? Hi, Sharon. Welcome everybody. I don't really have anything super big to talk about. Like I said, I just like to share what I'm working on at that moment. And right now, I'm looking at pages on the transcript. So if you guys have them and you want to kind of read along, there's some things I wanted to talk about, like the phonetics or forensic linguistics. So we'll stop at certain topics like that. Keegan made a strange comment that I want to kind of focus on. That's kind of why I titled it "The Devil's in the Details." Because the more and more I read this information, the more and more certain things were kind of popping out at me. So if you guys want to hang out and do that, if anybody wants to call in, you know, let me know. Mandy, yes. Um, Fig is always like a step ahead of the game. So he'll send me little pieces of information, and some of that information is like how many different Anthony Shots accounts are out there. It's almost like a group of people, you know? It's really strange. Some of them will be like Anthony Shots slut, you know? It's really strange. So I don't know if he created the Anthony Shots and then created fake ones like he has his own minions or something. I don't know. What's up, Jack? Yeah, I mean, I looked on TikTok because you don't have to register for like TikTok. You can just kind of like surf through it. And yeah, there was a ton. And they were all out of Indiana, you know. And then there was a few random ones where the people's name was actually like Anthony Shots, from across, across the ocean or whatever. Okay. Sorry if I missed anybody. Um, if you throw some comments in there, I'll do my best to kind of focus on them. But I'm going to start reading this out here for you. I mean, you could read this whole thing really. There's no real good place to start. No matter if you start anywhere other than page one, you're going to miss like just little details here and there. But let's start here. Now, this is page 48. Now, 48, basically, up until that point, they just, during the interview, they discussed, okay, who were you living with? Who were you hanging out? Who had access to your devices? And this is where Keegan starts to explain that, you know, friend number one, who used to be his neighbor, who moved up the street, he had access. While he would stay over there with him, there was a female. She had access. So now we're dealing with a male and a female, and this is the same male, friend number one, that he moved to Las Vegas with later on, or eventually. So up until this point, he's told the law enforcement that those are the two that had access. So I'm just going to kind of comb through this. So he's telling him basically, you admitted that you had a problem. They mentioned some disgusting stuff that was found on the phone and that is factual. And he's saying in your original interview, you owned up to it, basically, admitting that you talked to girls, right? Even in your polygraph, where under 16, they deliberately asked you, what if a girl told you they were 16? And he said yes. So he tries to act, or he is offended by the stuff with the three. There's some mentions of infants, and he acts extremely outraged over it. So, question here was, he took your phone for this part, but then when you ask, do you have any 9 to 13 uh, explicit videos? He said, yeah, I didn't. So he's denying that part. He's denying the trading information back and forth. And then here's a question from law enforcement, because Emily Ann responded, I do. So you're telling me you had 9 to 13 explicit videos on your phone? They were on your device. Kagan says, I had them on the device, like as a question. That is not true. So you wouldn't know about the? Yeah, I'm telling you it's true. I have no clue about any of that, though. You have been. That phone. Kagan says, right. We've been through all the phones, but we're not allowed to lie to you about this. So now, is that a lie? Is there certain things they can't lie about? So let me pause right here. I kind of see the chat moving a little bit. Aw, snap. Yeah, we're going to be doing a giveaway again, now that I know how easy it is to do it. All right, let's see what Eminem's talking about here. I've been following this case for nearly a year now. Came across the Down the Hill 2-part documentary and was sad to find out it was still unsolved when Libby left so many clues. Yeah, and it's kind of frustrating for the families, I'm sure, because it's almost like they had to take I don't know how deep this pedo ring is that they found, that they talk about in the transcripts, but I mean, it must be frustrating to kind of have to take a back seat to that, when it comes to justice. And I don't know if that's what's going on. I think that if it is going on, I think that'd be a little frustrating. It just kind of adds to the patience that you got to have. It would just put a little more weight. Okay, so continuing on, they ask him, you didn't have a choice. They served a warrant. Basically tell him, like, you didn't have a choice. We're going to search your stuff anyway. So that's not what I want to go over. Okay, here we go. But what I'm telling you right now is, if Deputy Clinton has my phone, right, and I take it back, I'm going to know that there's 9 or 13 explicit videos. Keegan says, yeah, on my phone, right. There's no way you didn't. Keegan says, so again, we need the honesty. He says, I'm telling you, honest, I swear to God. And this is where it kind of gets strange. Law enforcement says, Emily Ann, who you admitted to making the Emily Ann account, and sends a photo to the Hannah account, and it's a Caucasian female sending inappropriate information. That's the same conversation. So he's admitting to that. I'm not saying I don't remember that, but I'm saying, like, I probably would have said something like that. I really honestly don't really remember talking to anyone, because it wouldn't be like the same person. I wouldn't keep talking to the same person. You know what I mean? Right. He said random people. But when you're exchanging the child pornography, that's obviously, I hear what you're saying, but when you're exchanging the Dropbox links, Dropbox links that go to your Dropbox. That's a different story too. What do you mean? I never had a Dropbox. Yes, you did. I sent links from, what do you mean? But from your Dropbox account off your phone, we have started one of the largest child pornography investigations ever undertaken in the state of Indiana. That's what they told Keegan. So we'll kind of pause there before we move on. Watched a great fig, talk, see, energy, less anxiety. What are you talking about, Grunge? I mean, I did just come back from the dispensary. Oh, is it that obvious? That's funny. Brett, you just missed. I did a rant about how this is obviously an unhealthy obsession when it comes to the Delphi case and a lot of the true crime cases that are out there. It's extremely unhealthy. So if you can tell me how to just like stop being having the urge to look into it, or I just feel like I can help. If you can take that away somehow, let me know. Hey, Jules, do you think it's possible that KK phone was hacked? Therefore, he might not be the one responsible of all activities from his phone. I mean, I don't see any evidence for that. It's possible, but I mean, what would lead you in that direction? Right now, nobody needs to hack it. There, we have proof that there's been multiple people, at least. So he said neighbor one and a female that was staying with neighbor one. Um, we think Tony. I don't know if that's been verified yet, but because of the phonetics, we know that multiple people were using the same accounts. Um, so yeah, and then we have the Adam guy. So I mean, they don't need to be hacked. He's already admitted that 4 different people have access to his phone. But yeah, it could be hacked very easily. Eminem says, "Sleuth, do you think he didn't want a lawyer so he could see what evidence they had on him? I don't know. Maybe he didn't want to appear guilty. Maybe his ego. Um, maybe because I feel like he kicked ass in the interview. Law enforcement, they got upset at the end. They weren't. There was almost a point where he almost asked for an attorney. It was like he didn't do horrible. Like they didn't kick his ass around there. So he might be smarter than we think. I don't know. But it could have been a ploy on his part to appear innocent. I don't need an attorney. If you keep accusing me, I guess I might need one. It could just be his ego. You got to remember the same thing that makes people go and do horrible things is the same thing that's going to get them caught. So the ego that made him, the anger and the ego that made him go out and perpetrate whatever crimes, potential crimes, it's the same thing that's going to get him busted when he enters that interview room. He's going to have that same anger and that same ego. He's trying to play dumb, in my opinion. So let me read that sentence one more time. From your Dropbox account, off your phone, we have started one of the largest child pornography investigations ever undertaken in the state of Indiana. There's just so much energy behind that. From my understanding, Morgan, um, I believe they can lie about that. Yeah, I don't. Does Indiana? Does anybody know? What's the stance on the death penalty there? Yeah, because I mean that's what's coming for sure. Probably sooner than we think too. There's a lot going on. Never know though. Oh, what's up, Deb? Emotionally attached to the case, and that's not a bad thing. Yeah, but it's not healthy. You know, I know that for sure. But I mean, at this point, it is what it is. I just remember how it all started. It just turned into this small discussion with my wife, and then the theories and the theories, and then getting into the YouTubers and the Facebook stuff, and then before you know it, you're part of all the groups. And if it wasn't for Bruiser, I wouldn't have started my YouTube channel. Oh, here's a good comment. Jesse's a moron. What's up? Don't mean to throw off the flow, but did you get a chance to see Fig's video? If so, what's up with this TT guy? Well, he's mentioned maybe once or twice in the transcript, but it's all about that country club road, you know. But we'll save that for another stream. Yeah, I have his video. It's in my community. I shared the link this morning. It's a good video. Fig is on top of his shit. I'm trying to keep up with him. He's very helpful. We're working on something behind the scenes right now, so hopefully that, if that bears any fruit, we'll be happy to share. We'll share it here with you guys first. You hear a lot of talk in the background on these different channels and on the Reddit and Facebook and stuff like that, but it's all secondhand. It's like, oh, well, I talked to this person or I talked to this. We're trying to find the actual like document. If we have that and we can start doing stuff like that, then we can get rid of probably not all, but most of the speculation. That's what the transcript has helped with. We've narrowed it. Things have been narrowed. Okay, so let me move on here. So after they make that statement to Keegan, he says, "There's no way possible." And he says, "Do you not have a Dropbox?" Is that what you're saying? I have a Dropbox. Not that I would send nudes and shit, though. I feel like I'm losing my voice. That's not good. We start looking at those people, and it just freaking spirals out of control to this major child pornography ring. See, that's when I read those two paragraphs or those two sentences, it kind of gave me chills. It kind of gets you a little bit mad, but it also gives you chills. Yeah. We start looking at those people, and it just freaking spirals out of control to this major child pornography ring. And I wonder if that's part of the reason why we're so drawn to this case. I wonder if that could be it. Like there's just this negative energy, and it's just like so much of it. Good people want to put, it's like we need to put our energy, put some, fight it with the good energy. But Keegan says, Oh wait, I don't want to skip that. And then you also are use that your primary phone and you don't all the child porn's on it. Keegan, come on. He says, I swear to God, no. I guess child porn technically is anything under 18. See, so that's him like he's like playing that semantic game. And he's when he does that stuff, it kind of throws him off track a little bit. He says, "Yeah, but no kids like that ever. You can show me anything you want. That doesn't mean that was me doing it." They say, "It's on your device." Okay, that happened. I mean, that's probably happened to a lot of people. That doesn't mean that they say, no, it doesn't happen. Okay, and this is where I want to focus on this statement, right? Devil's in the details. So Keegan is going to give the interviewers, law enforcement, a little speech here. And it didn't stand out to me the first 4 or 5 times I read the transcript, but this morning it did. So I'm going to read this. Keegan says, okay, someone shoots someone and then they're with the person that happens a lot, and then they get charged for it, and they say that they killed them. That doesn't mean that they killed them. Isn't it? Doesn't that seem strange? Let me read that again. He's This is Keegan talking in response. He says, okay, someone shoots somebody and then they're with that person. That happens a lot, and then they get charged for it, and they say that they killed them. That doesn't mean that they actually killed them. So to me, I'm thinking, is he talking about the Delphi case? Like he was there. He didn't, maybe he never meant to go that far. The person he was with took it too far. He's like, that doesn't mean I killed him. You know? What do you guys think about that? Is that too far fetched? Well, that's a good point. Just Pam says, Sleuth, even though it seems as if Abby and Libby have taken a back seat, just remember in their deaths, they're truly heroes. There have been dozens of arrests for CSAM in the area in the past year. Yeah, they're doing a great job. But this whole Dropbox stuff, like, you can only imagine what kind of rabbit hole that took him down. Joel says, because he is denying so much proof that came from his phone, some he admits, yet other he denies firmly. Yeah, it's so strange. And I don't know if he's just trying to lessen his involvement or if there's actually other people using his phone and he's not even aware of it. I'm not 100% either way yet. Yeah, he brings it up. He's like, I guess I'm going to need an attorney. They do a good job at kind of calming him down. But it's almost like the moment they say, we know for a fact you didn't do this. It's like I felt like right then and there. Excuse me. Yeah, it's all bullshit. Yeah, I hope they're on him. Even if it's just like a wiretap or a tail or something. Yeah, I think you're actually right. I think it was a court appointed. And he's actually pretty well known in that area, I guess. Blind Squirrel, what's up? Is there any indication of Keegan Klein prowling for teenagers and children prior to 2017 and 2016? Yeah, I believe so. I think in the transcript they even refer to some activity in 2015. And if I'm not mistaken, I think people have come forward that know Keegan. They think they talked about that kind of behavior, but I don't know for a fact. That's a good question. Yeah, he sure acted like it. Oh, here we go. Looks like this is an answer to an earlier question by username unknown. Indiana has the death penalty. They actually have a federal prison for death penalty, like Timothy McVeigh, the Oklahoma City bomber, was put to death there. Okay, thank you for that. Sandy, she's like, we killed him. We got that mother. Thank you. What's up, Digital? Digital says, why do you think he didn't plan, coordinate a better alibi if he knew the Anthony shots or anything else he was into could be connected to Libby or the murders? Yeah, he did everything after the fact. Like he cleared his phone. Like if he was planning to murder these girls, like he would have burned those phones, you know? It almost seems like somebody else was like trying to set him up. Like maybe they were like using his devices to put all this evidence there, you know? And maybe that's why the DNA is not tying back to him. And maybe Keegan is just a fucking idiot and he doesn't even realize. He's like, I don't know what happened. See, there's just a lot of different angles. There's still a lot of questions. Yeah, Chopper. He was a really good friend of mine. Yeah. I mean, I have to hold back tears all the time. He was a really good, you know, I just hang out with my wife. I haven't had good friends like I did, in college, high school, my young 20s. You have a squad you run around with, single, but when you get married, you don't have, friends. But he was a good friend to me. What's up, Brett Decker? Be glad when they get BG. I need my life back. I hear that, man. Sure, we all are. So vested in these sweet girls. We need a Y from BG. Yeah. I just want, I want, like the Germans, like they've they've been out there. They've been a news source for the case, and I want to thank them for that. So them, Anna, and everybody, it would be really cool, to see them get to personally, tell the people who are responsible, exactly how they feel and what they hope happens. That's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for somebody to stick their finger out in the courtroom and say, that's the guy right there. I know for a fact, and this is why. And then I'm waiting for the family to have the chance to confront him or them. Yeah, that's what I agree, Jesse. He's like trying to downplay his involvement. And that's typical. When you watch these all these interviews, I really love the first 48. That's a really great series. There's a lot of interviewing going on. It seems like every single time, and they know it's the guy. They just want that confession for the courtroom. But either way, that they'll probably be successful. But they just try. They try to get it. Oh, yeah, I was there, or I robbed him, but I didn't do the sexual assault part. It's like, so what? You robbed him, but and then somebody else came along. I'm like, come on. To me, that's what I felt like Keegan was doing here with the whole. He would first he tried to say, oh, 16 and 17-year-olds, and then he lowered it down to 13 and 14. Then he said, oh, no, no, toddlers. That there's just no way. I don't even want to hear about that. Because of time, let me go through the chat, and then I want to go to page 57. And we'll probably finish there. I don't know. Because, there was a gun involved from my understanding. Even though they may have not have used that as a weapon. From my understanding, it was present. I could be wrong. Yeah, they know for a fact. And also, it might be they're trying to just keep pressuring him, apply pressure. He's lying, and then just being under the hot lights and under that pressure, he might just be like, okay, here's what happened. Because that happens often too. They just break. Yeah, it's almost like at a planned meeting, it didn't go so well. Things, somebody panicked. Um, but there's some rage involved. If we pay any attention to those Erskine leaked text messages, and I seem to think that they're legit. I'm not, I can't be 100%, but there's rage involved, sharp weapons, anger towards Libby, and if it's the Anthony Shots profile that was communicating with Libby, that would explain why that was happening. There's just so much shit going on with all of this information. But either way, it's still narrowed. What's up, Peace? I think there is no limit to KK brain limit if it is going towards a negative and not the positive. Gaining brain cells seems to be his issue. He's played clueless for so long now. Yeah, he basically entered the matrix. Like this dude didn't lead like a normal life. He was just online doing weird shit. Like he was tapped in. Like that movie Tron. Yeah, like I was there with my dad. I didn't kill him. Like I didn't know he was going to do it. You can't blame me. I was just there. For some reason, that's what I heard. Oh, we got a super sticker. Thanks, Glenn. I'm glad you caught this one. See, it's early, buddy. I think it's already Saturday for you. Hope you're having a good weekend. It's Friday here for us. I mean, CSAM can happen anywhere. It happens all over. Could be happening at your neighbor's house. All you need is a victim in a closed space and a sick person. It doesn't have to be a small town. Well, I mean, the VPN will protect your privacy, but not unless you have that. If you have the device, the data's on the device. There's nothing, you can hide it from an outside source, but when you have the source itself, you can't hide it. You're looking at it. That VPN's only going to block, something from the outside coming in. Yep. That's all you need, man. That's what we're here for, you know? And that's what I kind of meant about personal responsibility. You got to take care of you and yours. If you can't take care of yourself, you shouldn't be attempting to take care of anything. Make yourself a stronger tool, you know, of protection, I guess. If you're just weak and your spirit is willing, your spirit's not going to do anything if your body's just dragging along. You got to be ready. Then you help. Exactly, Jen. Like and that's what blows my mind. What set of circumstances, what events took place? What sequence of events took place to lead to somebody even being able to do something like this? I mean, I can get lost in that. To me, it reads decades or generations of, you know, horrible people. Like this is something that's passed down. It could be just a combination of two or three families that happen to pass this shit down and live in it and stew in it. And then good people become affected. So how do we prevent it? I don't know. What's up, Laura? Laura says, I'll be glad when all is prosecuted and jailed forever, so healing is possible. I am from Logansport, Peru, and I hate when I hear that everybody in the area is just sick. There are many good people. Exactly. The problem with what's going on with Delphi and this perception that Indiana is a shitty place, which there's a lot of bad areas and bad people in Indiana, but you could literally take that same magnifying glass and put it on any state in the United States. And if you're looking and looking and looking for over 3 years, you're going to find all the CSAM. You're going to find all the pedophiles. You're going to find all the men who abuse women. They're going to be everywhere. So don't be sitting in your cozy little chair, in Florida going, oh man, look at Indiana. Because honestly, if you step outside of your door, you can look to the left and you can look to the right. And I guarantee something horrible is happening within eyesight, you know. The question is, how do you protect your family from that? What's up, Jill? Hey, Big Fish. Police often throw things out during interviews to see what gets a reaction. Doesn't mean it's true. Yeah, everything needs to be taken as a grain of salt. You know, you got things that you think the family knows. So when they speak, we take it as fact. You know, you got to stop doing that. We read these transcripts. We know Keegan's full of shit, but we also know that law enforcement is allowed to lie, that they do lie. They have techniques, and some of those techniques involve lying. So you have to take it all with a grain of salt, unless it's involving a specific fact, like a document or say something was filed with the court, anything that is documented, notarized. Okay. Because of time, I'll probably be on another 15 minutes. Let me go right to this page here. And I'm hoping somebody in the chat can help me out because I'm going to bring up an example. So, page 57, I think it's line 15. Let's see. So, some people look at that and they believe there are two people routinely speaking on multiple devices that are in your house because the phonetics are different, the phrasings are different, but this is over a period of time. We're not talking like this is an isolated thing. So one thing that made me think of right there when I read that the first time was the Unabomber. You guys know anything about the Unabomber? Ted Kaczynski? Pretty sure that's how he was busted. Forensic linguistics. So I had the chance to watch some videos, but I didn't want to put them out today because this is just kind of like a freestyle. But maybe later during a members only, I'll put some videos together and see what you guys think about it. Yep, they need that confession. And I'm hoping that Keegan's trying to make a deal. I'm hoping that he was, they're making a deal with him. They released the Anthony Shots information because if they can avoid making a deal, they would prefer that. So if they can get a whole bunch of new information that comes flooding in that points right to him and they can use, to put the crime on him, they don't need to make a deal. They have their guy. So I think they were attempting to do that, but knowing that they're just going to have to make a deal with him. And if they're like trying to cut 10 years off his sentence, he's not going to do that. Now, if they give him like 15 years with time served, I think that's what he's shooting for. Especially if they can prove that he didn't, complete the task or, he's obviously involved. But I mean, maybe he wasn't completely involved. If that makes sense. Yep. That's what they need. They need a confession or they need a witness that can prove, it can point right at these guys and say, look, those are the guys right there. I was with them. They forced me to go. I told them not to do it. Him. That's the one who did the majority of it. And that's the two that helped. And this is how I can prove it. Yes, Valoma. That is correct. Like one day they're going to have to explain it all to us, need to clear the air. Yep, John Douglas. I read a lot of stuff on him. He's good. Um, I know he got a lot of backlash for the Ramsey case, but he's still a trained professional. Hey, Sloopy. Yeah, he's definitely lacking empathy. Hey, Angela. Just checking out the True Crime Investigates video and saw you were live. Hey, welcome. Thanks for joining. Yeah, that whole Greeno stuff is strange. Sometimes you got to just step back and not be a judgmental person. You know, nothing you can do about it. Personal responsibility. Hey, Susan. Yeah, everything. Portsmouth, Ohio, supposedly the worst opioid infested town in the world. There's no way. It's everywhere. Yeah. And sometimes it's different drugs. No, small towns, usually it's like meth because you can kind of hide, while you're making it. Some of the small towns I grew up in, whenever I go back and visit family, man, it's bad. Feel like I walked into the set of World War Z. What's up, Captain? Welcome. Glad to have you. Oh, yeah, Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber. Forensic linguistics. That's insane. And then I was reading another story. Oh, wait, what's this? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see the super chat. Let me pull that up. Sorry about that, Laura. Sleuth, your site and new intro are great. Thanks for keeping us informed and thinking. I'm just doing me, and I appreciate it. I try to do the best I can. You can't please everybody. Personal responsibility. That's the moral today. If you yourself cannot hurt anybody, you're not angry, the world will be a better place. Even vigilante justice, like even that's just out of anger, like people that say, oh, I just want to go kill the bridge guy and chop his head off and do all this. Like, to me, that sounds evil too, like you sound evil when you say that. Do you realize that? Especially when you don't, you know, especially when you don't really know who the person is. So, I mean, that's really all I had, guys. I'm going to hang out another 5 minutes. No, I skipped a lot of these comments. I didn't slow them down. Oh, they already know who lives on Country Club Road. There's already a name to that location, and it's not the Atom. Somebody just as interesting, though. It seems to be coming together. So whoever's hiding amongst this small group, most likely somebody has influence, access to drugs. I'm thinking it's some type of a drug dealer for some reason. Somebody who can bully people, scare people from snitching, so to speak. Yeah, poor Greeno. Like, I don't know about his past because I didn't stalk him and look, but I hear some pretty bad things said about him. And he's going to have to face his day. His victims, they call them victims. I don't know. I'm not pulling people's, what do you call it? I'm not doing background checks on people, you know? I just feel bad for his children. I hope nothing's affecting them with all of this. You know, his kids seem really nice from what he's shown. So I just hope they're not affected. It seems like whatever Greeno did, he's paying for it. So, you can run, but you can't hide. So we'll see what he has to say after he pays his debt to society. And nothing we can do now. I mean, he's not here. Why even talk about him? There's nothing, pops up on little weird live streams from jail. I mean, we can't really have a conversation with the guy. Just gonna have to wait it out. You know, people come out of jail, they're branded, and I don't understand. Even these people, they go. Let's say they commit a robbery, and the judge says, "I'm giving you 15 years." Like, damn, okay. And the guy spends 15 years in jail and comes out, and people are still like, "Oh, you're just a felon or a bank robber." So what did that 15 years mean? Like, what was that for? Isn't that the punishment? Like, I never understood what that meant. You come out of jail and you're a felon and you're all this. I thought the 15 years was what you had to do because of, the crime that you did. But when you come out, you're branded. There's no way to fix it. So these people that can't get over the fact, that you're branded, and even when you go back to jail, they're still mad at you. So that can only mean one thing. They don't want you in jail because you're already in jail. They want you to die. And that's why these people scare me. Like, they really seem like they want Greeno to die, like some type of painful death. Because you say he's victimized people. Yeah, that's horrible. Like, I would never let him around my family if that's true. But I'm not going to run a background check on him, So I wouldn't know. To me, that's weird. Now, with that being said, like I said, personal choices. But I just never understood that. Thank you so much, Jane from the country. Man, I did like 4 rants today. Getting too comfortable. Yeah, needs to get his shit together. And I mean, when people tell me like he's like attacked women and stuff, like that does make my skin crawl. But I'm not trying to hang out with the guy. I don't know the guy. There's nothing personal. He made me a mod. We're not buddies. But he's never done me wrong. I have a personal relationship with him. I mean, imagine if everybody that would talk shit about Greeno, like, what if I went and did a background check on all those people? Like, what if these people that hated Greeno, what if I just went and searched all of them? And I searched their family members, and I searched their neighbors, and I searched their boss, and like, doesn't that seem crazy? Like, when you think about somebody doing it to you, like, isn't that strange? Yeah. Like, oh yeah, you might not have a criminal record. Oh, let's see what your wife or your husband or your brother, let's expose them. Doesn't matter if it's you. You know, these people are freaking, it's so crazy. It's like, maybe I don't need to expose you. Let's see what your best friend's been up to. You know, it's like, where does it end? What are you, a fucking vigilante? What is this, death wish? Yeah, we all have a past. I mean, we all know certain people would have already exposed me. They've been stalking me. You know, I'm not judging anybody if they are a felon, but I mean, I don't have any felonies. I have like a brawling charge and a marijuana charge from like 12 years ago. What the fuck? Yeah, and if you can get your hands on that brawling charge, you're just going to make me look good because I was kicking some ass. I mean, people typically do repeat that behavior, but I mean, and the problem with these vigilante types is they're not Christians. You know what I mean? They're actually like Satanist type people. Um, they don't follow Christian values. And I'm not saying being a Satanist and all that, there's anything wrong with that. You know, here in the United States, we have the freedom of religion, and I respect everybody and whatever they're into. But it's typically those type of people that struggle with that, with forgiveness, you know, and not being judgmental. Because when you're a Christian or a Muslim or a Jew, you know, we have this thing. It's like redemption and forgiveness and love. You know, we try to preach those things. But when you don't follow those values and you follow something else, you don't see redemption, you don't see forgiveness. And then you yourself become a judge. You know, I don't believe in judgment because when you judge others, you're playing God. And when you're playing God, you know, if you're God, then your real God's nowhere around you, you know, and people believe that we are our own gods. Those are the people that are out here playing vigilante. Those are the people that, even though they say they're for good and they want to protect people, truthfully, they really want to hurt somebody. They, you know, those are the people that scare me. And I try to love them the most. But I use discernment because they really do scare me. Yeah, you got to trust your gut. Well, I only had a couple people respond to the whole Unabomber thing. I might have to look into that because there's a whole bunch of stuff on the forensic linguistics and phonetics. And like I was saying earlier, there was another case where a guy got busted because he was sending text messages and he's like me, like his grammar's bad. Like me, I have the grammar of like a 6 year old. So he would put commas in the wrong place and do stupid shit like that. And that's how they caught him. I think it was out of the UK. I don't know. You guys know anything about that? Yeah. I mean, I judge, but I try not to. I've judged him, but I try not to. I didn't say it would be easy, man. You know, and it's like you're judging me now. You know, like it's not your job to correct people's behavior. You know, personal responsibility. Take care of your own shit, and people will take that example. Lead by example. Yeah, but who are you, David? What makes you so good? What makes you God? With all that anger against these sick people, you know. Now, knowing for a fact that they deserve the gas chamber, you know, it's a really thin line, but we're only human. It might not work that way for you. You might have a lot of anger. Usually, when you have a lot of anger, like you can't see past it. Yeah, and I'm sorry. Sorry to hear that. I hope you get the justice you deserve. Unabomber in his own words. I'm going to check that out right now. I may have seen that. I'm not I'm not sure if it was on Netflix, the one that I watched. Yeah, this dude was super smart. Yeah, David. I hope you figure it all out, man. I hope you can find peace, man. Honestly. Anti-free. Oh, here we go. Unabomber's brother recognized Ted K's language and phrasing and eventually chose to tip him in. Yeah, and then they broke it down, right? Once they had that evidence. It's not judgment, Thelma. It's discernment, you know? If you know somebody's a child molester, you don't bring your child around them, but you're not saying that they deserve to die. You know what I mean? Yeah. Nobody's saying that you can control the anger, but you know anger is not good. And I'm sure you wish you could get rid of that anger. And I hope one day that you can too, you know. I know that you don't like the anger either. So I hope one day you can figure it all out. No, your anger is just part of, you know, you being victimized. And it's unfortunate that you're stuck with that anger. Yeah, I love prayer. Um, one of Bruiser's last video was with I actually think he was talking to Anthony Greeno, and it was right after Michael Catt died, and Bruiser said this prayer. Man, it was very powerful. I'm pretty sure that that video is still up. I recommend you guys go take a look at one of his last videos. Yeah, PTSD is a horrible thing. Yeah, for people trying to control their anger, you know, just if you can't control it, don't judge yourself. That's the most important thing. You know, if you're going to go around judging all these people, that's fine, but don't judge yourself. You know, don't be too hard on yourself. Help yourself up. Don't beat yourself up. Get up and try again. All right. My rants are over. I feel like I'm getting preachy. Sorry about that. But we are going to shut her down. Uh, Lulu Gumshoe says, "I'm not a churchgoer. I need to go back, but I talk." Yeah, I don't really agree with church. Yeah, I don't recommend church, to be honest. I really don't. I don't recommend church or religion. And I know I say, um, and when I say church, I mean in a traditional way. You know, if you want to go sit in a room and there's somebody, you know, holding a Bible and you guys are talking about God and life, that to me that's like church. Um, but in a traditional sense, I don't recommend it. I recommend a personal relationship. I don't even recommend it. That's just the way I roll. Oh God, good one, good one, Jules. Yeah, I got it started getting really preachy. I'm telling you, I just got back from the dispensary, so I'm on cloud nine. All right, guys. Well, I got to get out of here. I feel like I'm losing my voice or something. It's really weird. But I'm gonna check in with you members later, and we'll get together and we'll see what's up with you guys, and we'll hang out a little bit. Take care, everybody.
Sleuth.